The Communist Manifesto, its global legacy, records, and stories of influence. Introduction. Few works in the history of political literature have left a mark as indelible and far-reaching as the Communist Manifesto. Authored by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels in 1848, this slim political pamphlet, just a few thousand words, sparked movements, revolutions, and debates that continue to shape the contours of political thought and governance across the world. Its rallying cry, "Workers of the world, unite," has echoed in protests, revolutions, and political speeches for over a century and a half. But beyond slogans, the manifesto encapsulated a radical new interpretation of history, society, and the future, a vision both revered and reviled. From its record-breaking translations and clandestine distribution to its impact on social reforms and totalitarian regimes, the Communist Manifesto stands as a paradox, a brief text that birthed immense consequences. In this essay, we explore the records it has broken, the fascinating stories that surround it, and the dual legacy, both inspiring and devastating, that it has left in its wake. Historical context and creation. Europe in the mid-19th century was a cauldron of economic transformation and political tension. The Industrial Revolution had upended traditional societies, drawing people from rural life into grimy urban factories. This shift enriched the bourgeoisie while plunging many workers into poverty and hardship. Amidst this backdrop, Karl Marx, a German philosopher and economist, and Friedrich Engels, the son of a wealthy industrialist with first-hand experience of factory life, sought to understand and change the conditions they witnessed. In 1847, the Communist League, an international political group of radical workers, commissioned Marx and Engels to draft a manifesto that encapsulated their beliefs. The result was the Communist Manifesto, completed and published in London in February 1848, just days before revolutionary uprisings erupted across Europe. The timing was uncanny, as monarchies quaked and barricades rose in Paris, Berlin, and Vienna. Marx and Engels's call for proletarian revolution found immediate resonance. Though those revolutions failed, the document they left behind became a timeless blueprint for future upheavals. Key ideas in the Communist Manifesto. At its core, the Communist Manifesto is both a critique of capitalism and a call to arms for the working class. Its ideas can be boiled down into several key tenets. 1. Historical materialism. Marx and Engels argued that history is driven by material economic forces, not ideals or religion. The engine of historical change is class struggle, they claimed, between oppressors and the oppressed. 2. Class struggle. The manifesto identifies the central antagonism in industrial society as that between the bourgeoisie, capitalists, and the proletariat, workers. As the bourgeoisie gains power through capitalism, it also creates the conditions for its overthrow. 3. Critique of capitalism. The text denounces capitalism for exploiting workers, commodifying labor, and alienating human beings from their work and each other. Yet it also acknowledges capitalism's dynamism and transformative power. 4. Call for revolution. Marx and Engels did not propose reforms, they proposed revolution. The proletariat, they insisted, must seize the means of production, abolish private property, and usher in a classless society. 5. Vision of communism. In a truly communist society, they claimed, the state would wither away, and individuals would be free to develop fully, from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. These ideas were radical, and remain so today, but the manifesto's power lay not just in its content, but in its language, bold, evocative, and uncompromising. Global impact and historical records. Despite being a short tract, the Communist Manifesto is one of the most widely read, translated, and reproduced political documents in history. 1. A record number of translations. The manifesto has been translated into more than 200 languages, placing it among the most translated secular texts in the world. It has found readers in virtually every continent and political system. 2. Widely circulated, often illegally, in many countries. Particularly during the Cold War, the manifesto was banned, yet it was widely circulated in secret, often smuggled across borders or hidden in other book covers. Some editions were printed on tissue-thin paper to fit in coat linings, others were bound inside Bibles to avoid detection. 3. Inspiration for revolutions. From the Russian Revolution of 1917 to the Chinese Revolution in 1949 and Cuba's Revolution in 1959. The manifesto was cited as a guiding text. Lenin, Mao Zedong, and Fidel Castro all referred to its principles in building communist states. 4. Target of suppression. Western powers, particularly during the Red Scare in the United States, treated the manifesto as a threat to national security. Possession of the text could result in surveillance, blacklisting, or even imprisonment during the McCarthy era. 5. Continued relevance. In the 21st century, interest in the manifesto has resurged, especially among younger generations disillusioned with economic inequality and climate inaction. Sales spiked during the 2008 financial crisis and the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. Positive influences. Though it has been associated with some of the 20th century's darkest regimes, the Communist Manifesto also inspired significant positive social change. 1. Labor rights and social welfare. The rise of socialist and labor parties in Europe, inspired by Marxist thought, helped secure better wages, safer working conditions, and social safety nets. Concepts like the 8-hour workday and universal health care were driven by movements grounded in or influenced by the manifesto. 2. Anti-colonial struggles. Leaders of anti-colonial movements in Africa, Asia, and Latin America drew on Marxist theory to critique imperialism and organize resistance. Figures like Ho Chi Minh, Amilcar Cabral, and Che Guevara cited the manifesto's ideas in their struggles. 3. Academic and intellectual contributions. The manifesto laid the groundwork for fields like sociology, political economy, and cultural studies. Even critics of Marx engage with his ideas, which remain central in university curricula. 4. Alternative visions of society, beyond violence or revolution. The manifesto sparked visions of more egalitarian societies, cooperatives, worker ownership, participatory democracy, that continue to inspire experiments and advocacy. Controversies and negative consequences. The manifesto's legacy is also stained with profound and painful consequences. 1. Totalitarian regimes. Regimes claiming to follow Marxist principles often devolved into authoritarianism. Stalin's Soviet Union, Mao's China, and Pol Pot's Cambodia witnessed mass purges, famines, and forced labor policies justified through distorted interpretations of Marxism. 2. Class warfare and civil conflict. The call for revolution was not metaphorical. In many places, it incited violence, civil wars, and political repression. The Cold War itself, fought via proxy wars and nuclear brinkmanship, was rooted in ideological conflict between capitalism and communism. 3. Economic failures. Central planning in communist regimes often led to inefficiencies, shortages, and economic stagnation. In some cases, these policies caused mass suffering, such as the Great Leap Forward's famine. 4. Dogmatism and censorship. In states influenced by the manifesto, alternative viewpoints were frequently silenced. Intellectual and cultural life was restricted, and dissenters imprisoned or executed. Interesting stories and anecdotes. The manifesto's journey is riddled with intriguing tales. 1. The underground press. In Franco's Spain or apartheid South Africa, the manifesto was printed illegally in underground presses, then distributed by hand. 2. Disguised texts. During World War II, resistance fighters in occupied Europe sewed miniature manifestos into coat linings. In the U.S., communist sympathizers often wrapped the text in harmless-looking covers to avoid FBI scrutiny. 3. Reclaimed by capitalists. Billionaire investor Ray Dalio once remarked that Marx understood the nature of capitalism better than many economists. Some modern thinkers on Wall Street cite Marx's analysis of capital cycles as prescient. 4. Pop culture icon. The manifesto has appeared in films, novels, and even memes. It was quoted in the Matrix trilogy. And a 2020 viral TikTok trend showed Gen Z users reading Marx in public as a political statement. The Communist Manifesto in modern discourse. Despite its age, the manifesto continues to provoke and polarize. 1. Resurgence on the left. Democratic socialism has gained popularity in Western democracies, with figures like Bernie Sanders and groups like the Democratic Socialists of America referencing Marxist ideas. 2. Academic renaissance. Marxist scholarship has resurged in response to growing inequality, climate change, and critiques of globalization. Journals, conferences, and books revisit the manifesto with fresh eyes. 3. Digital adaptations. The manifesto is now available in mobile apps, YouTube animations, and online courses. Its ideas are debated on Reddit and Instagram, engaging a new generation. 4. Criticism remains. Critics argue that Marx underestimated human nature, oversimplified class structures, and ignored cultural and psychological factors. Still, even detractors admit its brilliance as a piece of political rhetoric. Conclusion. The Communist Manifesto is a paradoxical artifact, both a visionary document and a dangerous one, a source of liberation and repression, a spark for equality and for authoritarianism. Its records of translation, circulation, and influence underscore its unique place in world history. Its ideas, though born in the 19th century, continue to haunt and inspire the 21st. Whether one regards it as gospel or warning, it is impossible to ignore. The Communist Manifesto remains not merely a text, but a mirror, reflecting our hopes, our fears, and our endless struggle to build a better world.